How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. Today we're looking at some scary videos that are starting to spook the internet. So hit that subscribe button and get ready for more freaky content. Just like this.
Do you see that?
The first video on our list was posted to Facebook by Clay Shiner. It shows a lush wooded area backlit by the glowing sun. However, it isn't long before it becomes apparent that the camera holder's not filming the scenery. Watch.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Savannah, do you see that? Do you see?
It's evident that there's something or someone in the forest.
Do you see that? I'm afraid.
A tall, dark figure walks from left to right, stopping to peer out from behind a tree.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
But just as quickly as it appears, the body dissolves into the shade of the forest. The astonished cameraman looks on, continuously repeating, "Do you see that?"
Do you see that? Do you see that? Oh my God.
At first glance, the figure looks similar to a human, but watch as it swings its arm out to grasp the tree. It has unusually long, ape-like appendages and moves around in a primal manner.
Oh my God.
This image, taken from the video, highlights the creature's disproportionately long limbs compared to its torso. So could this video be evidence of the legendary cryptid Bigfoot? Or is there another way to explain the figure's unusual appearance? Love to hear your theories on this one in the comments down below.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Savannah, do you see that?
That doesn't look like the other trees.
When TikToker PeachAssassin99 first noticed a dead tree in her backyard, things began to get a little strange. In this first clip, we see her approach the tree to investigate.
But it's very pretty. And there's these weird things that are in it. I don't know what that's for. And it has crazy holes.
At the base, she finds an animal skull.
Oh. I like you. What is that?
It seems that after that day, mysterious things started happening around her house. This next clip shows a photo that the woman's landlord took of the building.
So my landlord sends me this picture because she's trying to take pictures of the new windows that got replaced.
There appears to be a creepy doll sitting in the window.
Is in the left window next to the chimney. I don't own any dolls.
However, the TikToker notes that she doesn't own a doll. She then shows the window from inside the house. There appears to be nothing there.
To see if I can somehow make myself feel better. There's scratches on the windowsill for some reason.
The spooky incidents keep happening in this next video as we see the woman rushing to her door after the bell rings incessantly. Yet when she opens it, there's nobody there. Her dog runs out sniffing around, but we can see that there's no one nearby.
Luna, come on.
From this moment on, the creepy activity seems to escalate around the house. Next, we see a bottle suddenly fall as the woman's hanging out in her kitchen.
Did you do that?
In this footage, more strange activity is captured. Books fly off the shelf as though an unseen entity is pushing them from behind. Although it seems that the poster doesn't know what's causing these potentially paranormal events, her dog might be able to sense something that she can't. As we see the TikToker taking her pet for a walk one evening, the animal seems to pick up the scent of someone lurking in the field.
Luna.
A tall, dark figure seems to be watching the pair as they take their evening stroll.
What?
In this final clip, we see the TikToker's dogs as they're suddenly alerted to something outside. They move from window to window, barking at the presence. At first, there doesn't seem to be anything there. Perhaps the dogs were just barking at a possum or raccoon. However, take a look at what the outdoor security camera captured. There appears to be an eerie figure wandering across the yard. Could this be the same figure that the woman saw earlier in the field? This story remains ongoing, so head over to PeachAssassin99's TikTok account to see the latest in this saga. As always, I'll put a link to her account in the description box down below. This next photo was posted to our Slaptown community page over on Facebook by Leonard Lowe. It shows a ghostly figure that appears to be wearing a long cloak or robe. Caught early one morning along the Kennewaite 11 road in Scotland, the photo was supposedly taken near where Jury Castle once stood, along part of an old pilgrim route. The uploader thinks that the figure resembles a monk, noting that many would have once travelled through this area. He also adds that since this photo was captured, others have come forward claiming to have seen the same ghostly figure. Security cameras are a great tool to help keep properties safe from burglary and vandalism. However, they do occasionally show events that are a little harder to explain. This video, which was posted to YouTube by Gazmo4, shows the area outside of a factory. It's a quiet night and nothing appears out of the ordinary, unless you take a closer look. At the very beginning of the clip, there's a transparent shape that seems to ascend into the air. At first, one would be excused for thinking this might simply be a bug flying past the camera. However, what happens next will likely make you question this theory. Watch. The door to the truck suddenly unlatches and begins to swing open. Several seconds later, a similar transparent shape looks as if it rises up from the ground and then enters the back of the truck. One viewer claimed to have worked at the factory where this footage was recorded. They said that on the day of the incident, the manager arrived at the site early to open up. She opened the large metal gates to the yard and noticed that the trailer door was open. Worried about a loss of stock, she managed to close the trailer door and went to check the cameras to see who had left the truck doors open. Upon checking the footage, she noticed the doors opening all on their own. They later called the trailer hire company, who sent a mechanic to review the vehicle. He said the door was too stiff to open on its own, as even he struggled to open it. This video was captured by Liam Cooper while working near Park Penalta in Wales, UK. At first, it depicts an everyday scene in a residential neighbourhood. That is until you notice the large black shape on the hill in the distance. As the camera zooms in, that dark shape suddenly becomes clear. It looks like a very large black cat prowling around. It's even been suggested that the animal might be a panther. A wildlife expert who knows the area noted that large wild cats could be living in the woods in Wales. Their shy nature would likely keep them hidden, which may be why there hasn't been more sightings. However, there isn't any concrete evidence that large cats such as panthers have made this area their home. If this was the case, there would likely be a significant loss to local livestock. There is, however, little doubt that the animal seen in this footage is some kind of feline, but is it just a large domestic cat, or could it really be a panther? For years, people have claimed to see large cats in areas where they're not native. Even places as far removed as Victoria, Australia have long been rumoured to be home to panthers. This footage was captured by brothers Royce and Ben Chaffey while out on a walk northeast of Lorne. Sightings and stories of the legendary Otway panther date as far back as the early 60s. Some think it might have been an animal that was left behind or escaped from a travelling circus. So are there really populations of large cats living in parts of the world in which they're not native? Could this footage, captured by Liam Cooper, prove there's one living in Wales? Watch the clip again and judge for yourself. This creepy photo was uploaded to Reddit by user Chandroid. It was supposedly captured by the poster's friend while she was staying at her mother's house. The house itself is said to have seen its fair share of odd occurrences. Residents have seen spirits, gotten locked in rooms when nobody was home, and heard strange noises. On this occasion, the poster's friend was house sitting. When she looked at the baby cam to check on her daughter, who was asleep in the other room, this is what she saw. The woman didn't know who or what it was, so she ran into the bedroom immediately. No one was there, yet this eerie face remained. Then, when the woman placed her hand where the face could be seen, it disappeared from the monitor. Since the incident, the poster notes that her friend's daughter hasn't been able to sleep well, claiming that there's a monster in her room. Creepier still, a woman was supposedly murdered not far from the house prior to this photo being captured. A family member did a side-by-side comparison of the victim and the strange face seen in the toddler's bedroom. Do you see a resemblance? Let me know what you think down below. Before we take a look at a creepy photo captured in Savannah, Georgia, remember to hit that subscribe button, then tickle that little bell icon there and turn on all channel notifications. That way you'll be notified every time we drop our eerie and mysterious videos. There are many areas of historic cities that are reputed to be haunted by the ghosts of the past. Bone-chilling supernatural tales abound in thousands of these places all around the globe. This photo, posted to Reddit by OKCelery477, was snapped during a ghost tour in Savannah, Georgia. The city's tumultuous history is thought to make it one of the most haunted in the US. According to the poster, the photo was captured in a building's basement that was once used to house slave quarters. The building also supposedly experienced a horrific fire in the 1800s. The poster notes that they originally captured the image as a live photo and that the figure only seemed to appear as a mist. Yet when they captured a screenshot of the original live photo, the figure suddenly looked more corporeal. The picture looks to show someone standing at the door peering through the narrow glass pane. Many who have seen the image seem to agree that it does indeed show an apparition of some sort. But could this picture show the ghost of someone who was once trapped behind this very door? Also, if you live in or have ever visited Savannah and have a ghostly story of your own, we'd love to hear about it in the comments down below.
Now, if you can't get enough of the old slapped ham, then don't worry, we've got you covered. Check out that creepy video on the top there. Otherwise, we have an enormous paranormal playlist there that'll keep you entertained well into the evening, we promise. Now, remember to leave us a comment down below and hit that thumbs up button. And that's it from me. I'll see you all next time.